Oh, what do we have here? Another pushy shooter in the Battlefield series, you say? I can't ever say I like these games very much. It always feels like there's some jerkbag behind you, constantly shoving you to press on to your next death, even when you're trying to be cautious, which just makes me feel like I'm being bullied, which is the opposite of the emotion I'm trying to conjure when I play a video game in the first place. Battlefield 4 sees random squad soldiers fighting in graphics in a slew of exciting locations, such as Boring-stan, the Boring Sea, and of course, China. The plot of the single-player campaign is about what you'd expect. Big, manly soldier bros disobeying orders because it's the right thing to do, and shady side characters that die here and there, or join your party with unclear intentions so they can try to pull the old switcheroo, as if you didn't think they were going to betray you, double-cross you, or generally confuse you, which is gonna happen. Sure, the graphics are pretty, but the characters are bland, boring, terribly written tosspots. At one point early in the game, after running through a war zone, a building collapsed, and when I came to, my squad leader's leg was crushed, and in order to get him out, we had to cut off his leg. Sounds grisly, right? The gruesome brutality of war being put right in front of you, reminding you that war is hell. Except my character just stood there as if his head were a balloon with a vacancy that I guess I was supposed to fill with my own personality. But then I realized that it's not that I'm playing a character in this story. I'm a spectator that occasionally gets acknowledged. It was in the absence of an actual character to embody that things became mega super slow and arduous. Missions dragged on while stuff happened. Oh no, we're yelling and the screen is shaking, so things must be getting really exciting now, right? No, not really. I just didn't care enough to insert myself into this fantasy. The squad members seem like jerks, not people I'd want on my team in the first place. They make judgment calls for me on how the mission progresses, because choice isn't a thing that really happens when it comes to stories and games these days, apparently. And instead of a badass soldier swooping in with the good guys to save the day, I'm just an empty vessel spectating a barrage of bullets, pressing buttons until a mark on the screen flashes to let me know that an enemy I was firing in the general direction of that I could barely see just disappeared from the screen and will no longer attack me. Then the game gives me some points and pats me on the head, steps back and wants me to acknowledge what just happened, giving me a big ol' shit-eating grin and 2 thumbs up, as if I'm about to say that the simple pat on the head I just got was actually a mind-blowing blowjob before moving to the next boring set piece. Not exactly the ideal description of fun. Unless you suck. Then it might be. Who knows? The beginning of the game was enough for me to disconnect completely. The game opens with an underwater car sequence where 3 burly military men huddle closely while listening to Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears.
No, seriously, the car is sinking and it's wrecked, see? And then there's a flashback sequence to 13 minutes prior, which is an oddly specific number. Through all the fire and smoke and bullets and guns, I can't help but get bored. Sure, a vehicle pops up every now and again, and they all handle like the tires are in the mud and the gears are filled with mayonnaise. Everything you fight is a person, boat, or a chopper. If I had a nickel for every time I saw a helicopter fly overhead to signal I was about to get dunked on, I'd have a shit ton of nickels. Just to make things interesting, I began to pretend that every time I saw one, it was the same one, like a really bad RPG mini-boss that shows up each quarter of the game for comic relief. I can only do that because they all look the same to me. I have no idea where I stopped, and frankly, I don't even care. The game is pretty, and if you've never played a first-person shooter like Call of Duty or Battlefield, sure, go nuts. If you like multiplayer, like I don't, it's probably the meat and potatoes of the game for you, and I'm sure it's a rollicking good time having 13-year-olds tell you directly in your ear how many cocks you gobbled when they left you behind in Ponesville to go have sex with your mother while you die repeatedly. In reality, the experience for me is like fumbling around in the dark for the light switch. Sure, I know what the objective is, but going about it is the difficult part. After going through the browser list, I thought to myself, I have no idea which server I should enter, and whether or not the people playing are hardcore douche monkeys or casual tryhards or somewhere in between. Then after connecting to a server and finding a tank, I'm immediately disconnected by the host for reasons unknown to me. Multiplayer for me has become a pain in the ass, so I barely even bother anymore. Plus, the Battlelog web browser-based front end for Battlefield sucks. And not having the game in my Steam library where it belongs is a major negative. At the moment, I think this may be a better game than Call of Duty Ghosts, but that really isn't saying much at this point. If you want to look around and shoot at things, I suppose this will have to do. Ooh, what's this? Orange. Male, female, video games? Oranges? What? Sign up.
Come on, Wrecker.
Shut up, I'm watching TV, man. I don't know what that is. Perfume. I don't get it. Guys? Guys?
You ever open up a fortune cookie and add the old in bed?
No.
What? You never heard of it?
The hell is that?
Oh, come on. You know, like, you open up a fortune cookie and it says, tomorrow you will be reborn in bed.
What's the in bed shit about?
Oh, come on, man. You get it. You know, like you were gonna have a eye-opening experience that'll change your life in bed.
Already had